Unique stories that define our state's character. The NBC Montana Moment Special starts right now. Sponsored by Montana Chevy Dealers.
Thanks for joining us for our Montana Moment Special. Each week, Kevin Maki shares a glimpse of what makes our state so special. For the next half hour, we're taking a look back at some of the memorable moments of the year. First, 1,000 years ago, a new life began near present-day Seeley Lake. The only witnesses to his youth would have been Indigenous people. He was already 200 years old when the Magna Carta was signed, more than 800 when the Civil War started, and still he thrives. This is Gus.
In the Seeley Lake district of the Lolo National Forest, a pathway welcomes visitors through some of the country's largest stands of western larch trees. Some call them tamarack. This is 60 acres of towering giants.
My name's C. Quinn Carver. I'm the Seeley Lake District Ranger. This grove was such a large, majestic grove that the ranger at the time wrote the chief, and it was protected from early logging.
The Jim Gerard Memorial Grove is named after that early ranger.
The big larch here, as you can see, they're pretty fantastic, and they've been around a long time.
Many of the larch in the grove are 600 years old, but they're youngsters compared to Gus.
Gus is estimated at over 1,000 years old.
As is appropriate to his stature, Gus is the focal point of the grove.
This is the most beloved tree on my ranger district. This is why I came into the Forest Service to do what I do, is to keep forests healthy and keep treasures like this for the public.
Gus is 153 feet tall with a 22 feet 9-inch circumference at his base with a trunk diameter of 7 feet 3 inches near the ground.
I'm 6'1" and my arm span is about 6 feet.
Gus is and always has been hugely popular with school kids.
You'll see little kids come up and just, their arms will only reach that far. Everybody hugs this tree. When you see kids see this tree, the wonder in the eyes is just fantastic.
Everybody likes to measure themselves against Gus. Even adults almost always do this. Gus was on the bucket list of Chris Petrush and her family.
To me, it's all the animals who have probably lived in it. Birds flew into it, houses that animals have had in here.
All the creatures he's protected.
Yeah, absolutely, a friend of the forest. Yeah.
Gnarly. I like all the gnarly.
The western larch is a deciduous conifer that loses its needles in the fall.
Oh, it's gorgeous in the fall. In the fall, when the trees start to lose their needles, they all change colors.
Much of Seeley's green landscape transforms into glorious golden yellow. Western Montana forests are known for a bountiful population of western larch, but the Seeley Lake district is especially rich.
Seeley Lake and most of the Swan Valley is combination of soils and water and seasons is actually perfect for larch. Just the right mix in Seeley Lake to make them good and big.
The larch have deep tap roots to obtain plenty of water. Through the years, the Forest Service has thinned other species like spruce, lodgepole pine, Douglas fir, and undergrowth to make room for the larch.
A lot of the treatment has been logging from below, logging other species other than larch. This stand would have been maintained by Indigenous peoples for thousands of years by running regular fire through it.
And he's had a couple of burns here.
Another fire scar on the back, more fire scars in this side, probably 5 or 6 that I can count.
Gus has survived dozens of fires through his long life and has the scars to prove it. He has a lot of defenses. His limbs are high up.
If a fire started up the face of Gus, it'd have to go a long ways before it ever got to the limbs, and then the heat of the fire is just going to escape through the crown.
Ranger Quinn thinks Gus may be more resilient to climate change than other species.
This particular tree has seen 1,000 years of seasons, so it's seen a lot of drought and it's seen a lot of wet, and so I would say that larch would probably be a little more adapted to that.
But he isn't immortal. Some of his top is dead, some of it blew off. These nodules are signs of a fungal infection.
This will eventually kill the tree. It's kind of like a slow-growing disease.
But who knows how many years he has left. He could still live for a long, long time. Gus has plenty of offspring.
This one right here is a baby larch. That is likely direct progeny from Gus.
Many who visit Gus think of him as a teacher.
If he could talk, if we would listen, the things he would be able to tell us about living a good life.
School kids seem to be Gus's best students. They're the ones most likely to pass on his wisdom and generosity. Put your hand against Gus's gnarly bark and you think, I'm touching 1,000 years of life, of a living being, 1,000 years of time, filled with mystery. Kevin Maki, NBC, Montana.
We now take a look back to the springtime when Montana sheep producers are having their animals sheared of their winter wool. Shearing allows newborn lambs to nurse easier, and it keeps the sheep cool in hot weather. Shearing is a physically demanding job requiring experience and dexterity. Kevin Maki explains.
Leroy Sikorsky's skills as a shearer and his gentle treatment of the animals in his care are in high demand.
I just think that they're a great animal. They don't bite, they're friendly, they're my favorite animal.
Leroy started learning the trade on his dad's sheep ranch in Minnesota 63 years ago.
Yeah, I started on my dad's flock when I was 14. The first year I only sheared so many, but in the second year I sheared all 300, and I hadn't went to shearing school yet, so it was really hard.
By the time he grew up, he was putting his shearing school education to work in Minnesota.
I bought my own farm and I had 1,000 head at one time. We did well on the sheep. I paid for the farm before I ever came to Montana.
When he moved here, he started shearing for customers all over western Montana.
These are all January-born lambs.
He's been shearing Kim Marr's flock for years.
I raise mostly 4-H lambs. I sell to FFA and 4-H kids. And then I sell a lot of breeding sheep to anybody who wants to increase their flock or just starting out.
Kim says shearing is an art.
It's physical, but there's also an art to how they do it so that it isn't harmful to the animals as well as to the shearer himself.
Leroy practices the Australian method of shearing. He exerts pressure on the joints in certain spots. It keeps the ewe under his control. It keeps her skin flat to prevent the clippers from nicking her and limits her mobility to prevent injury.
Sometimes they kick up against you, so I hold in the joint right here to keep the leg straight.
After shearing, he also clips the ewe's hooves. You might be surprised to learn what Leroy credits much of his abilities as a shearer to.
Wrestling. I wrestled all my high school years, and I was pretty good. I didn't lose many. I went to the Minnesota State Wrestling Tournament a number of times.
He says in controlling the sheep, he uses the offensive takedown skills he learned in wrestling. Notice how Leroy takes a ewe to the floor so he can gain control. It keeps the animal safe. It's a lesson Leroy learned a long time ago.
Older wrestlers would come to me and say, you got to learn an offensive takedown. You win all your takedowns by defense. That really helped. I really learned a lot from him.
What he learned in sports has proved to be a practical tool in his profession. Shearing keeps him fit.
I've got good health. That's the biggest blessing. Otherwise, I'd never be able to do it. It's a very physical job. And I liked it because it gives me physical exercise, back muscles and legs. That gets your knees built up.
Depending on the animal, it takes Leroy anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to shear one sheep. His is a time-honored profession dating back thousands of years. A sheep has always been an animal vulnerable to predators.
They need a shepherd. A sheep needs a shepherd.
They need our protection. Leroy says lots has changed since he started shearing as a young man. Kim says there is no market for her wool.
I throw it away. There's no market for it. And especially with my breed, so mine aren't a wool breed. So the wool isn't as valuable as a lot of your white-faced sheep. But even your white-faced sheep, they're not making any money on their wool.
It's a very good product, but it's not used all that much anymore because there's so many other stuff to make clothes out of, and people aren't using the wool like they used to.
It is hard work, but the electric clippers are an improvement over these old sheep shears. Leroy keeps them around to show what it was like before electricity.
One stroke, just one squeeze and per stroke, and They sheared thousands of sheep with these.
Leroy wears a t-shirt showing all the animals he has sheared through the years. Not just sheep, but goats, alpacas, llamas, even rabbits. He says rams like this one are becoming more of a challenge.
They're very strong in the neck and they're a little tough to get down anymore.
But he's still up to the challenge. At 78, he says he's got more work to do.
Well, I hope to go till I'm 80 or a little better.
Leroy figures in his lifetime he's already sheared 100,000 sheep. So look for more takedowns in years to come. Kevin Maki, NBC, Montana.
After the break, it takes plenty of plows to keep Montana's roadways clear in the winter. But who keeps the plows running? Coming up, we'll meet the mechanics. We ask you all the time to chime in your photos and videos. We have a special section just for Montana Moments. That can be anything that means Montana to you. Weather, wildlife, history. You can share it all with us at NBCMontana.com/chime in. A Montana winter brings lots of snow and icy roads. Plow operators work to keep streets clear so people can get to work and school kids are safe on their bus routes. It takes constant vigilance to keep the trucks running. Here's Kevin Maki with the mechanics.
It's early morning in the maintenance shop at the Missoula County Public Works Department. The guys who keep emergency vehicles and equipment in good shape have been at it for a couple hours already.
We'll start at 5 in the morning.
Fleet manager Shane Quick oversees all the trucks and equipment coming in for repair. He says it's the day-to-day runnings of acquiring parts and prioritizing repairs.
The nuts and bolts of keeping these trucks on the road. Lots of moving parts and prone to breakdowns for sure.
If these trucks were animals, they might be pack mules, tireless workers that give everything they have.
They have a tough life, pushing all that snow and occasionally hitting unmovable objects. The plow probably weighs in excess of 4,000 pounds, and definitely it's just a lot more weight on the front end. Plows, a lot of welding work on plows.
On an especially snowy day, all 23 of Public Works snow plows will be running. From mountain roads to suburban neighborhoods, from Petty Creek to Condon and Potomac and north of Florence. You might be surprised how many miles they cover.
447. Yeah, it's quite a few county roads that we maintain. We really focus on the bus routes and get those opened up so the kids can get to school safe.
Keeping all the plow trucks and heavy equipment healthy is a specialized crew.
We have 3 truck mechanics. We have one guy that works solely on Sheriff's Department equipment, or mainly on Sheriff's Department equipment. We have a welder, and we have a parts person. Satellite shop in Sealy, so they are always quite busy up there. They get a lot more snow. This is our...
Shane grew up in rural Petty Creek near Missoula. He knows every county road. He started as a welder for the county. He has a passion for heavy equipment.
The moving parts, the power of it.
He introduces NBC Montana to some of the Missoula crew.
This is Brandon, another one of our truck technicians.
What we got going on here is we're updating the snowplow lights, getting rid of some halogens and throwing some heated LED ones on for the drivers. And with the heated LEDs, it melts the snow and keeps the lights bright.
Brandon's from Thompson Falls with a background in heavy-duty diesel. He's worked in Alaska and at a Missoula truck dealership.
This is Wyatt. This is one of our truck technicians.
Wyatt is from Arlee, so like Brandon, he knows bad weather. He's worked on over-the-road trucks. He likes working on big equipment.
So right here we had a differential fail and it put metal everywhere, so we had to pull this hub out and clean all the races so then these bearings don't fail.
With warmer weather, the crews had a bit of a lull.
No snow today, but we've had a pretty good amount of snowfall.
Now there's slush.
We've got to get that moved. At night it gets hard, turns into ice. Probably a lot of water here in the near future.
But there's a massive pile of sand behind the maintenance shop. This plow operator's already spread one load. He's back to load up again for another go-around. There's still a lot of winter left. Who knows what's around the corner? The mechanics are used to surprises.
Just like to serve the public.
They're behind the scenes. The plow's going day in, day out. The truck's going, doing it in a timely manner, getting the parts, troubleshooting.
The troubleshooters in the maintenance shop at Missoula County Public Works. Kevin Maki, NBC, Montana.
Still ahead, a sanctuary in Arlee works to provide a safe and secure place for horses in need. Kevin Maki shares the story of Fallon's Farm. For their well-being and happiness, animals, just like humans, want to feel safe and secure. They like good food, a comfortable place to rest, a chance to have some fun, to kick up their hooves or paws, to bask in the love of their humans. And once again, here's Kevin Maki from Fallon's Farm.
The horses at Fallon's Farm near Arlee love the attention that Wendy and Mike Ramos pour on them. The treats, the constant petting,
Hi, big guy.
the kind words.
Fallon, come here, baby.
The nonprofit farm is named after this former racehorse.
This is Fallon. She's the one that started everything. She's my heart horse, my baby.
Wendy says Fallon's sire was a successful racehorse that was sold to a Saudi prince for $1.1 million, while Fallon's dam was sold for several $100,000. Fallon had a career in racing too.
So Fallon was an off-the-track thoroughbred, and she raced all up and down the California coast, and she was thrown away and completely emaciated when we got her.
Wendy says Fallon didn't measure up as a winning racehorse.
She wasn't fast enough, she wasn't good enough. Nobody wanted her. She was in a kill pen, and that's when we adopted her. And it took a lot of rehabilitation to get her back.
Wendy and Mike saw a need. They started taking in more animals.
One horse turned into 21 horses, 2 cows, a goat, and 4 dogs.
Some of the animals are old or in poor health.
Teeter, she has a neurological disorder.
Some animals end up here because their owners can't care for them anymore. Boone is a 20-something quarter horse draft horse cross.
His owner got sick and couldn't care for him anymore and ended up in a nursing home. So we got old Boone and his buddy Bo. And this is Bo right behind him, which was his companion.
Boone and Bo are bonded. Bo's an old trail horse who has health problems.
You know, when you get to know these animals and you look in their eyes and you look right into their soul, and you can't let them down. You know, you just can't let them down.
Every day we're blessed to wake up and get to see every single one of these animals and they're happy and healthy and they get to have a good life, and it's the best.
Pip and her parents are Mustangs Wendy and Mike saved from being put down.
They were all unhandled, completely unhandled. So we took all 3 of them and we've worked with all of them, and now you can see she's a precious little gem.
Pip is now one of Wendy's favorite riding horses. Emmy and Lil Kim are mini ponies rescued from a kill pen. Emmy has laminitis and inflammation of the hoof. She wears protective shoes and loves being massaged.
You love that? Do you love that? Yes, you do. You did okay. Yes, I'll do this one. That feels so good, huh? That feels so good. They're just the sweetest. This one actually goes to nursing homes now and visits with the old people, and they love it. She has the biggest heart.
Sophie is a fainting goat that suffered burns in a house fire. When she gets scared or excited, she faints.
It takes quite a bit to make her faint. At first when we got her, it didn't take much. You know, you'd walk up fast behind her and she'd tip over.
Sophie's best friends with the dogs Drake and Remy. They're rescues too. After the fire, Sophie's owner had no place to keep her, but she comes to visit.
Her mom comes once a week to have picnics with her.
Now this is Slider, and that's Jimmy over there. They're both young steers that both Mike and Wendy have guaranteed to have a long and happy life. Slider's a little chubby.
It's so bad.
We're not sure where his legs start.
This is Snoop the donkey, and this is Hawk.
He had a suspensory tendon injury.
They've been through so much that we just want them to have the rest of their life bliss. You know, we don't want them to go through any more trauma.
We just didn't want them to be let down ever again. So we said we're gonna hang on to them and let them live their life here.
Wendy and Mike say Fallon's Farm started out as a rescue, but they say it's really more of a sanctuary, a safe and welcome refuge for 22 beautiful souls. Kevin Maki, NBC, Montana. If you want to watch this story again or any of our Montana Moments, go to nbcmontana.com/Montana Moment. These unique stories about the Treasure State, its history, and its great people are now the Montana Moment podcast. Look for new episodes every week. Since we started Montana Moment, I've met dozens and dozens of people who've opened their hearts to me to tell their stories. Every one of them remarkable for their dedication to their jobs, pastimes, and families. I thank them, and so many, many more. Special thanks to my NBC Montana family who make the real Montana Moments happen, and to Montana Chevy dealers for sponsoring them. Until next time, keep making Montana Moments.
Thanks for joining us. You can catch Kevin Maki in his Montana Moments Sundays at 10 p.m. right here on NBC Montana.